Here it is, boys. The Nismo bumper. Let me show you guys just the minor things that's wrong with it. Overall, it's in great shape. The only issue is, I don't know if you can see right here, he said a truck backed into him, which causes these scratches. It's not too bad. There is a crack right here on the bumper. You can't tell it's there. And on the side of the bumper, just some scratches. Cleaned up all the bumper. It's actually pretty good shape. Besides, you know, these little issues, which easily can be filled up with a body filler. This area right here, you can see that little bump right here. So I'm gonna try to use a heat gun, just kind of like push this down. The crack that I showed you guys earlier, this right here, which is right under the bumper, you can't really tell. Same goes for this one. I'm going to use epoxy and just kind of try to glue them together, and it's going to be really strong. I have these two cracks over here, there, and I get these two holes from the license plate. So what I'm going to be using is this JBL plastic bonder. So it sets in 15 minutes and sand it in 30 minutes. Before I apply the epoxy, I'm gonna sand this area down just so then the epoxy can have some sort of surface to bond. I'm also gonna be repeating the step on the other side. I put these epoxy under the bumper. It's right here. It's really hardened up. I put it on both sides, under and the back side of the bumper, so it's really tough right now. But first, I'm going to do an emblem delete. In order to do that, you're gonna need fishing line and a heat gun to soften up the adhesive behind it, and you're just kind of doing like a saw motion and it's just gonna come right out. Here's the fishing line. What you want to do, try to wrap this around your hand a few times so you can get a better grip, and you just go try to get this under the emblem, and once you get it under, do like a sawing motion, so that way you're cutting into the adhesive, and the adhesive is soft enough. So make sure you get it long enough. Since I'm repairing this bumper anyways, I'm just gonna use a flathead and just try to see if I can pry this out. There you go, how to remove the emblem with a flathead. And of course I damaged it a little bit on the side, but I'm gonna be repairing this and filling it up anyway, so it doesn't matter for me. Clean this up before I do the sanding on the areas that needs to be repaired. Alright, before I put the heat gun away, I'm gonna be using the heat to apply on this area right here and try to push this bump over here down, so try to get it leveled a little bit. So you want to get this like really nice and hot. Push this down a little bit. Yeah, you can see it's a lot easier to kind of play around with right now. As you're pushing it down, you want to kind of hold on to it right there until the bumper cools. Alright, so I'm going to be start sanding it with the orbital sander. What I'm going to be using, I'm just going to be putting in a 80 grit. Right now, it feels really flat, but I'm probably gonna sand it a little bit more, and also gonna be putting body filler, so just to make sure it's completely leveled. I'm gonna be using Everglass by Evercoat. It's a short strand fiberglass reinforced body filler, and it comes with a hardener. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab a little bit out. And then here's the hardener, one line across. Then you wanna just mix it up. So once it's fully mixed, and you just want to go right into town with these. So I might have to do another layer of this because it's pretty deep, so I want to build it up. But you just want to get most of the area. I think it's pretty dry right now. I'm just going to go over it with the 80 grit. Alright, when you're sanding, make sure to wear a mask because you don't want to breathe this in, guys. It's there's hairs in this bundle. Oh boy,
It's really dusty in here. But yeah, I sanded it down. It's pretty smooth now. Like I said, I'm just gonna use another layer of body filler and fill this up. Overall, it came out pretty good.
This is the second layer of the body filler, and I filled it up even more where the emblem was over here. You can see this was where the license plate hole was, and over here. So once I finish sanding down the short strand fiberglass filler, I'm going to go over it completely, just some areas that might need some body filler, so then they'll be perfectly smooth, and then get that ready for paint. I am going to be using glazing and spot putty, basically to fill up all like the fine scratches and like other imperfections that I might have missed from the body filler. I filled up the entire bumper with the spot putty. They say like 30 minutes to dry before sanding it. It's been sitting for 30 minutes, so I'm gonna be sanding it down with 400 grit on a sanding block. As you can see, I took the bumper off so I can finish sanding off more on the edges and around the headlights. It is completely sanded off, the entire bumper, and we rinse it off. As you can see, the spot putty really fills up those fine scratches. It's completely smooth now, and I'm just gonna let it dry.
The next day.
Here is another day. As you can see, it's completely washed off and dried off right now. And then I'm just gonna like tape off the areas that I'm not gonna paint. It is officially all taped off right to the lip. So I got the bumper on the painting booth. I had to put this chair up here and put some weight on it because otherwise it's going to fall over that way, and I want to paint it like this. You want to paint it like in this kind of position, because if you spray it downwards like this, the spray is not going to come out as smooth and might get some splatter. So that's why I have it standing upright and just gonna spray like this. The paint I'm gonna be using is from Automotive Touch Up. You can order all these from their website, and you can just put in your color code. Mine is the QX1. This is a 3-stage paint, so then they also include the mid coat, which is the clear. So first, I'm gonna be putting on some sandable primer. A few layers of that, maybe 3, 4, depending. Let's see how it goes. Maybe 3, 4 coats of the ground, and then I'm gonna have to do paint another test paper just to see like how much pearl I had to put in, and I'm gonna try to match it with the paint on the panels, and then spray it on with the 2K Clear Max, which I highly recommend. This is amazing. It just lays on so well, and you're gonna have that really high gloss from this. Alright, so I put on the first layer of the primer. You can still see some of the body filler. So you need to have like maybe 3 or 4 coats to have like one uniform color. So in between each coat you want to wait like 10 minutes. The way I have it sprayed, you want to put maybe like 6 inches away, and when you're about to stop, you want to just feather it away, so you don't have like a hard stopping line. So spray, feather away, and then spray, feather it out, feather it in, feather it out. Try not to have it in the same spot over and over, because that's how you're gonna have runs. And not too close, but just a good distance away.
This is just the second coat, but as you can see, it covered up 80%. You can still see a little bit of the body filler, but pretty much is almost all filled. I'm just gonna maybe do another 3 coats just to be sure. This part right here came out so perfect. Like, you can't tell there was like a bump or that where the emblem was before.
I wet sanded it with 600 grit sandpaper. I rinsed it off, all dried up, and I have it taped again. And time to put on the base coat.
First layer. I laid this one down a little bit more heavy. As you can see, it is somewhat glossy. So I'm gonna lay down the last and final coat of the base. Alright, so I put on the first layer of the pearl. I'm not sure if you can pick up any of the pearls right now. I think I might have to put like maybe 2 more coats. Alright, so I have 2 coats of the pearl and I'm trying to see how it matches up with the fender. This is not a good way to tell. It'd be better if it's like direct sunlight, but unfortunately time is against us. So the final step is I'm going to be using the 2K clear coat. How it works is a 2-part mixture. Take this off, place it on the bottom, and then push it down to the ground until you hear a pop. Like that. And then just mix it up. The clear is all put on. See how glossy that finish is. Actually concludes for the rest of the night. I'm gonna let this dry for 12 hours before handling it.
Tomorrow.
It's been a full day. It's completely dry now to touch. You can see it's very, very glossy. Alright, so I'm gonna start peeling this off. Now we're gonna put it on and see. Alright, so it's just being held on right now with no clips, but this is the paint match. I think it's pretty matched, pretty good. This is the other side. Yeah, when the sun hits it, you can see the pearls, the fender, and the bumper. In person, you can't really tell if there's any shade of difference. There you go, guys. The Nismo bumper is finally put on, freshly painted, really glossy. So yeah, you can do this at home, save yourself money from taking it to a shop. The car is dirty, I guess. You can see it's dirty. I think I'm gonna give it a good wash. It'll blend in a little bit better after. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Look at that gloss. That gloss from the 2K clear came out really perfect. Not even sure if I need to wet sand it or anything. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is like this. See if you can see the reflection. It took a bit of time, a lot of time actually, to prep it, but that's the most important part, is to prep the bumper, make sure you know everything's all nice and smooth before laying down the paint. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think the paint looked on point. I'm really surprised how the Emblem Delete came out. Yeah, I think overall it looks a lot cleaner. If you guys like what you see, make sure to subscribe, and you know, we'll have more contents for you guys soon. Alright, y'all, peace out.